All right, Ian. With Flash being unsupported, not supported anymore by Adobe end of the year, we're gonna have some tough times for some Flash games.
Yeah, we're going to be losing some Flash games. There are people who are currently trying to preserve them by converting them to HTML5. Also, just because Flash is going away doesn't mean you won't be able to download the game to your computer and play it using a Flash player. It's just not going to exist on the internet anymore, which is where most people play Flash stuff. I wonder if people, if the majority of people know that you can right click and usually like download those files and play them like offline. But Farmville, the quintessential Facebook game, will be shutting down on December 31st. In-app purchases will come to a halt on November 17th to, I think, keep people from dumping money into currency that they won't be able to use immediately.
They don't want to piss them off afterwards.
Right. So I never got into Farmville or its numerous clones. I think Farmville, I can't remember which came first, Farmtown or Farmville. They were different companies, though.
Was there also like Maple Story? Was that one of them?
Maple Story was not Facebook. Maple Story is like a side-scrolling like RPG. But I mean, that was a popular game, but that's not.
That wasn't on one of these?
I don't believe Maple Story was Facebook, no. So I remember these coming out, and I remember my friends and even some family getting wildly addicted to the Zynga games on Facebook. Farmville took farming and turned it into... it kind of really perfected the free-to-play template, limiting the amount of things you can do in a certain amount of time so that you are tempted to basically buy more turns that you can use before they replenish. So that's how a lot of free-to-play games work, especially ones like these. Planting plots or building buildings cost a certain amount.
It's a freemium game,
right?
Remember, this is before basically the big app games. This is like a year or two before them.
So it costs time or energy to do actions in these games, whether it's harvesting, building buildings, selling things, grooming animals, etc. And when you run out, you have to wait for that energy to replenish. Usually it happens every couple of hours or every 24 hours, depending on the game, and then you go back. Of course, there's a way to break that, and you can just pay more money to gain that energy back, and you can keep playing indefinitely. These games, there was ways to visit other people's farms. You could help them harvest their fruits and vegetables. So basically, that was it was always
like Stardew Valley. It's like a
yes, but not as nice.
Not as intense. Yes,
well, not as nice. Yeah,
a little more simple.
But these games always revolved around either you paying money into them or harassing enough of your friends to play with you.
Oh, really?
So that
you do things together.
Yes, so that you didn't need to wait for your time or energy to come back or pay for more of it. You could basically act as a recruiter for Zynga, and if you got more people to play, you would gain bonuses. And that's how it worked. It was almost like a chain letter sort of thing. It was, you got to keep this going. You got to find new people to play.
Wow.
Like I said, I never got super into it. My girlfriend at the time was very much into Farmtown, which was a similar type game. I remember Farmtown. Yes.
Are you farming in the town?
Farmtown.
Or are you just hanging out in the town?
I mean, it was just called Farmtown, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, I thought you were the expert. It's your girlfriend playing it. Okay.
It's just called Farmtown. I mean,
is that why you broke up? She was playing too much?
No. You farm just like you did in Farmville. And I remember there was like ways to hack the game and cheats, and people would spend lots of time designing these farms. But yeah. Anyways, I didn't know people still played these, but I would not be surprised. I don't know what Facebook is like anymore. So I can't use Facebook.
So it's not available anymore on the iPhone? It said it was a mobile app for a brief period in 2010. Did they get rid of it? Can I not buy this on my iOS? Is this real?
I mean, that's what they're telling you.
Hey, I'm following up. Wikipedia is not always 100% correct here, but I don't think someone would make that up. Farmville. There's got to be a version on here, or at least 1,000 clones. Well, the sequels are on here. Farmville 2, Country Escape, Tropic Escape, and then Farmville 3.
I'm assuming that Farmville 2 is probably just more tuned for for phone.
Yeah, the original's not available. You got to get the sequel.
Yeah, it was probably just more tuned for phone, whereas the original was more tuned for Facebook.
There's also Family Farm Seaside and a bunch of similar ones out there. There's probably 50 of these things. Okay, there's Town Village. There it is, Ian. I found Town Village. So this was obviously huge. I remember playing this myself for like maybe 15 minutes back when it came out, because it was everywhere. Oh, let's check this out. Until like the same thing I got when I played The Sims. I go, what the hell am I doing with this? This is a waste of my time. Don't get sucked in, and you cut it off. Wish I did that with Civilization, but I stopped playing at the time. Like, again, it's probably 2009 or 10. But okay, how many people played this? This is in the article here, and I just had it up. They had it wasn't many people. Oh no, as many as 83.76 million active users per month, not total. In a big month, 83 million people.
Yep,
that's insane.
It is, and it goes to show that the initially the Facebook game idea was
shoot the fly. Sorry, go on.
Was smart.
It's a fly on my laptop.
Okay.
No, keep going.
No, I'm watching you shoot the fly.
Missed him. Go on.
You hit it, but you pushed him.
Oh, I pushed
and then
him
he
off?
flew away. Those games were perfectly built for Facebook, though. For the majority of users, they would sign on, check a couple of things, play 5 minutes of these farm games, and you're an awful shot. I can't talk if you're going to be shooting at flies. Like, I can't pay attention. There you go.
I got him.
Congrats. He's dead. But they were perfectly designed for that. The sign in, play for 5-10 minutes, check up with people, and then go about your day. But people became a lot more obsessed with them than that. And then also people started spending more time on Facebook than was probably healthy.
And then I'm sure a bunch of other clone games.
Yes, tons.
A bunch of freemium games going on. How are they? Were they just literally like, oh, here's a link to play? That's how they spread a lot of like. I don't remember seeing, I think, advertisers on Facebook. I'm trying to remember. Facebook was radically different 10 years ago, but I'm trying to remember how it looked in terms of the advertising on there.
I don't remember.
It's not that there were promoted posts as much. There had to have been, but it wasn't like now where anyone can spend $100 and promote a post.
Right. Well, that's why they gave stuff away to people who recruited more players. That's why there was such an emphasis on getting other people to play.
So it was a cult. It was a cult of Farmville.
Yes.
Basically at the time. Wow. Okay. So good on Zynga for coming up with this, and I love their poker game. I wonder how much money they made off of this game. It's probably not a small amount.
No,
because again, this is like before. This is even before this got big on app stores and games. I mean, smartphones didn't get big for at least a few years after this came out.
If I'm wrong, someone can correct me, but I'm fairly certain that Zynga made its initial mark on Facebook. I think that's where they got big.
Well, that's where the poker first was.
And then they went, they went to phones afterwards, and all that blew up. But yeah, I think Zynga's, initial popularity comes from their Facebook games.
Zynga Poker was Facebook 2007. That was their first thing. So they basically then came up with, after that, let's see, 40 million people playing Zynga. Because Zynga's the same way. Zynga gives you free chips. And
Zynga Poker, you mean?
Zynga Poker. They give you chips for free, and then obviously if you're good enough, you're not going to lose them. But if you lose them, Ian, you can wait to get more free chips, like whatever it is, every day you get bonus, or you got to buy them.
Gotcha. So
Pat never had to buy them because I'm decent at poker on my phone. But that's how it works. Or you when you get friends that you give free chips back and forth. So it might encourage you, maybe not to recruit, but at least on the app you can like add friends to do that and play games with them. Either way, it's free. Hey, it's free to play it though, so you can't complain if they want to make some money. Obviously, it's capitalism. So anyway, so that's how Zynga got big. Zynga Poker, and then Farmville. God bless them. And then Cityville came out in 2010, and it surpassed Farmville as its most popular game. Okay, so it wasn't City Farm, wherever you said it was Cityville.
No, Farmtown. Different game made by a different company.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
So is Farmtown like Cityville?
No. Farmtown is like Farmville. I don't know what's so hard to understand.
But a farm's not a town, though. You don't have a farm in a town.
A farm is not a ville either, Pat.
Is a ville a thing, though? I think Farmville is closer than Farmtown. You just meant I might have bludgeoned that fly to death with a dollar store dart gun there. All right, so that's anything else to add here?
No.
Okay, so I can't think of another. Well, the good news is that people are still playing the later iterations of this, so it's not like the game is disappearing entirely. It's just this version is going bye-bye. I wonder if Zynga fought tooth and nail to keep this going somehow, because they're probably still making money off this, obviously. It's just maybe, obviously, at this point, it's diminishing returns versus all the other sequels.
Well, they probably have, I mean, without looking, they probably have sequels that are in HTML5 now, so they probably have things to fall back on. I'm sure that they haven't been developing everything in Flash up until the last minute.
Zynga, they're not hurting for food. They're keeping the lights on, so they're all right.